Oh yeah, the Blob. I am dedicating this video to that movie. Now, word of caution, before I tell this story that I'm going to tell, it's kind of gory. I cannot show you the actual image because it's off a horror movie, okay, and it might gross people out. So if you want to just tune me out for the next minute or two, or just hit mute until I start talking, you see me pointing at the actual dry erase board, that's when you know you can unmute, okay, because I'm going to tell you something gory. Now, the Blob, the 1988 version with Kevin Dillon, that's the one I'm after. Not the one with Steve McQueen in the 50s, which was better acting in my opinion. But the graphics, well, the graphics stunk in both of them based on today's graphics. But there's a scene in the second Blob movie where this guy, he takes this girl out to make out point, and he's got her almost passed out, drunk. And he goes to the back of his car to fix her a martini to get her the rest of the way drunk so he can take advantage of her. Yeah, he's one of those pigs that exist out there, right? And meanwhile, while he's making the drink, the Blob comes through the grass and climbs up into the car, and it basically eats the girl from the inside out. But when the guy comes back into the car with his makeout gear, you know, his martini, etc., and he starts to take advantage of the girl, he just thinks the girl's passed out, right? He doesn't see anything different. She's just asleep. So as he reaches to take advantage, the Blob lashes out, wraps itself around his arm, and starts eating him up. But it's the girl's face that I want to bring to your attention here. You ever see those Cabbage Patch dolls from, I don't know, the 80s or whenever they were popular? They look like... That's what was happening to this girl as it started. Her face started caving in like this. Okay, now hold that image. Okay, now I'm pointing to the board. Okay, so that means people can tune in now. Composition of functions. So hold that thought with a block. F of g of x, that's how we read this, or f composed g of x, can be written like this with the open circle. That does not mean multiplication. And then you can also write it like this, f of g of x with the g inside here. So the important thing to remember here is that the g function, the way it's written, is going to get stuffed inside the f function, okay? The g function goes inside the f function. So here's an example. If f of x equals x squared and g of x equals 2x plus 1, let's find each composition. So let's work with f of g of x, or excuse me, f of g of 3. Now I use different colors here on purpose, okay? So there's a couple different ways to do this. I'll show one way, and maybe in a future video I'll show you another way. If we look at the g, so here's where the Blob comes in, okay? Remember, the Blob ate its way from the inside out on that girl. With compositions, we're going to work from the inside out, okay? Let's see the connection. So we're going to take this g function first, not the f, the g. So we're going to take the g of 3 is what we're really after here, okay? So g of 3 equals, and we'll plug a 3 in here, so I've got 2 times 3 plus 1, okay? And we'll go ahead and add, or multiply the 2 times the 3, that's 6, plus 1, you get 7, right? So g of 3 is going to equal 7. So I finished the inside part. Now I'm going to work my way out. Here's where the f comes in. So that's black. I'll change colors to black. So I figured out what g of 3 is. It's the 7. So instead of plugging a 3 into this f function, I'm going to plug the 7 in there. So f of 7 is going to be 7 squared, which is 49. And that is actually the answer of this problem, okay? Now let's go in reverse. Let's find the g of f of 3. All right, so on this one, remember, work from the inside out, just with my Blob analogy. So we'll take the f of 3. So we'll plug 3 into this function here. So f of 3 is equal to 3 squared, which is 9. And that number is what I need to plug into this g function, okay? So now I'll plug in my g of 9 equals 2 times 9 plus 1, that's 18 plus 1, or 19. So as you can see, there is a difference between f compose g and g compose f, okay? They're talking two totally different things here. So just kind of keep that in mind. Remember, work from the inside out. The inside variable or letter or function notation, whatever you want to call it, that comes first, and you work your way out. Just like on the blob, right? Blob, you're working your way. The blob likes to work from the inside out. It makes for a better theatrical effect or something. Okay, thanks for watching.